Hello, it's Chris Warrior here from Wiru Drone Solutions. I'm here to talk about a couple of drones, but the main one would be the DJI Mini 3 Pro, which I've recently got, and I absolutely love personally. And we'll go through like pretty much a couple of the functions and what you get with the Fly More kit, and you know, what do I think of it, and what do you think the best options are for the drones? Because I do get a lot of questions about what drone should I buy. I have messages coming through saying, I want to buy a drone, what should I get? You know, this is what I'm doing, you know, should I get this drone? And it all draws back to the main thing I say to people is, well, what do you want to use it for? You know, if you're just using it for, you know, a bit of fun and just taking the photos down or driving on the beach, or just want to get aerial shots, then, you know, then you think about, okay, if that's the purpose of the drone, then I think, well, how much money? It's always got to do with the practicality of what drone you want, and then how much you're willing to spend. And people are like, well, I've got the money, I can buy, you know, the Mini, the Mavic 3 Sin, you know, and that's like $5,000 with a, even more actually, probably $7,000 with the Fly More kit, and you know, with these low light functions and also all this more in depth for cinematic look, and people want to jump straight to the latest technology, and I get that, but I think just weigh up the purpose of why you want to get that drone, and then work out, okay, well, how much is it going to really cost me? Are you actually going to use it more than what you think you're going to? And then what I usually talk about is probably my best option that I got here, which would be the Mini 3 Pro, and I personally love this thing. I think it's amazing, and yeah, so we'll look at this and take this gimbal off. So that's a Mini 3 Pro, that's what it looks like. It's got the little gimbal thing on the top, a bit of a cover, so you know, take it off, there's a little latch just here, pop it up, and then it sits underneath just on here. So that's pretty crazy. So there's a difference between this Mini 3 Pro and also the Mavic Mini that came out a few years ago, which was my first DJI drone, by the way, and which was amazing. But if you look very closely in here, you'll see like a 3-way axis gimbal, and that'll sit down here. So you'll see the gimbal mount down here that'll push down here, and it will move alongside with that drone too. So what the Mavic 2 used to do is, when it was flying, the gimbal would actually sit on the horizontal axis of the drone. So when you're getting those shots when you're rolling left or right, it will actually just sit with the drone. So that here with this gimbal will actually sit, and you know, it'll sit along balance, so it doesn't have to look really funny. So that's awesome. And also the function with this one as well is has this feature that which is pretty awesome, is that it has a landscape and portrait shot mode. So if you look at this here, this will be sitting up, you know, so there's your portrait mode, and then you can switch it back to landscape mode. So that's awesome. So when it goes into a portrait mode, it gives you the specs to be able to upload it on social media, on Instagram, you know, put an Instagram story, or on Facebook story or something that has those specs to be able to put that on there. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, so we look at this, you know, your sensors at the top. What's really different about this one here is the rear sensors are actually right up near the top. So, you know, away from the back down here, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. Still feels pretty nice and light as it is under the, you know, 249 gram category. So with that, if you're going to get the Fly More kit, which I recommend getting anytime you get a drone, because you're just going to get one battery every time. So you actually get a charge kit here, which is pretty awesome. And with this, you know, the intelligent flight battery system, you know, you're always checking the battery management system, you know, you check it up, press the button. It also has a cool function on the back here with the USB, so USB-C here, but just on here, if you're out and about and your phone's down by like 20% or something, you can actually just plug your phone in and use it as a portable charger, just as a portable power bank. So that's awesome. So if you haven't got anything else that you need to charge at the same time, you can do that. And even with an outlet as well, you'll be able to plug that into your car, and you know, recharge on the go in between if you need to. But I do recommend getting the batteries, you know, getting the 3 batteries in here. So that's probably the best thing. So if you're looking at getting Mini 3 Pro with a charge kit, which you get with that, you know, your Type-C cords that you always get, which is awesome. Always get that. And especially with the R3, the Mini 3 Pro controller. So this is the one that you want. So awesome controller, bigger LCD screen, which is easy to see on your drone, which is awesome. So you'll get your HDMI or your cords on the bottom, so that's pretty cool. And you get that zoom in, there we go. You know, so that's pretty awesome. On your back, so your controllers, your C1 and 2 for your custom buttons, which is awesome. Ergonomically, like holding this is actually really comfy, which is awesome. The antennas actually are inbuilt in the top, so you see them just in here. So so on the top. So there's nothing portable folding out or could snap or having to remember to do that, but this is awesome. I love it. It's actually worth it with the Fly More kit. So if you're going to get this, you'll get this with the battery. You get your 3 batteries, you get your spare props, you get your Type C controllers. You know, you do get your little your little tool to take apart the props, which is awesome. So if you're looking at all them, if you're just going to buy it separately, just as your normal fly kit, it'll probably be around 1,300. And then, but if you're getting a Fly More kit, you know, add another 400, 450. And with that, you actually just get this nice shiny bag. It just looks cool. You know, that's all it is, just like a little accessory thing. I mean, it looks cool. Nice little design, actually looks awesome. But you know, looking at the practicality, you know, will you actually use it? I've used it a few times. I think it's awesome. You know, it does store, and it's quite snug too. You know, so if you're going to put the drone in here, your battery pack and your stuff in here, it's actually a very snug little bag. But you know, it's like a little Indian drone's satchel. Yeah, so no, it's awesome. It's pretty cool. So you know, if people want to use it, I've used it a few times, so that's actually pretty good. So yeah, it's awesome. So Fly More kit, you get the bag, you get the battery pack, you get the RC Pro controller, which you'll get the RC Pro pack, the controller, and also with the drone. I do, and it's another thing you people do as well. And I did this when I got my Mavic. My Mini, sorry, when I got the Mavic Mini a few years ago. When you first get your drone and you're flying it, you don't think about this. You know, people are not sitting down and you know going, you know, oh, I might go through the Know Your Drone rules from CASA, and you know, you look at those little questions on here, you know, like flying drones at one time, you know, emergency access, flying close to controlled or uncontrolled airports. You know, that's the things you just don't pay attention. When I first got my drone, I just literally ripped it out of the box, put it in the charger, and I'm like, how fast can I fly this thing? That's pretty much what it's in. But they do add these, you know, these safety cards in here, which is cool. You know, Share the Skies, and you know, they've got CASA and rules for operating the drones. So there's plenty of stuff in here for people to, you know, not say that you didn't know or aware, because they are sitting in your kits when you first purchase them. And if you've got a DJI product, you have to sign up as a profile, and you know, they do send you emails and links for any safety concerns or any updates. So in a way, with today's technology and updates with the profiles, you cannot not have access to these. They're just in there all the time. So you know, Fly More, all that. So if you're looking at the Mini 3 Pro, yeah, I love it. It's amazing. It's a really good drone. It's pretty sick actually. So I think considering for that, it also has the besides the gimbal, which is a massive thing between switching through portrait and landscape. One of the craziest things is they've actually added the auto tracking as well. So you know, if you're on a bike or walking or running, they will obviously track you for that. That's actually pretty awesome. And also, you know, with a 48 megapixel camera on here, and obviously with the 4K shooting up to 30 frames, it's it's pretty crazy and compact with the technology that's in this. You know, compared to having, you know, all that with a you know, Mavic 2 or anything like that there. This obviously is a bit more, but it's a working horse considering 20 megapixel camera. But getting the images and also the degree of the angle of the gimbal that pitches up compared to what I've done before. So I've used this for 3D mapping. It's amazing. It's actually pretty cool. Obviously the drawbacks with this for me is because it's so light, the wind just knocks it around, so you can't really mess with that. You just go through a Mavic 2, something that's a bit heavier that can cut through. And also the other drawback, which has annoyed a lot of people with this controller, is, I mean, yeah, it looks cool, it's awesome, but the issue is the LCD screen, you cannot adjust the brightness. So with the other screens or a smart controller, you know, that you do get, you know, you can adjust the screen, and you know, it's very nice and bright compared to how you're out in the field or using these things. So, you know, just for the Mini, just using these is pretty awesome, but you cannot adjust the brightness, and that's the annoying thing about it. So that's pretty much what I think is annoying. I personally love the drone. I think it's amazing for what it's got and the technology, and something that's so small. The battery life as well. They do talk about yeah, in here for how long. You know, if you've got drones like this, I think they did put it up to like 34 or 35 minutes flight time, but realistically they measured that on optimal conditions of flying. You know, if there's limited wind, you know, you're not flying against as many knots. You know, absolutely line of sight and no obstacles or anything getting in the way, or no transmission interference. You know, do you think you can get the whole 34 minutes or 35? No, not really, but you know, 25 to 30 minutes if you're not being silly, or you know, chucking it in sport mode and going apeshit. It's actually pretty nuts, but I rate this. I think it's an amazing drone, and yeah. People ask me for a first drone, you got the money, I would recommend the Mini 3, easy to pack, pretty cheap. The functions and the specs for this drone is amazing, and it comes with a cool bag, and it's awesome. So we'll go through more later on about with more functions with other drones, but just pretty much talking about the Mini 3, controller, and what comes in the Fly More kit really. But I've had it for a few months now, and I'd recommend it, absolutely. So yeah, thanks, and we'll talk soon.